Many of us have known someone with some form of cancer. The question nowadays seems to be more when we're going to get cancer rather than if we're going to get cancer. I've known several people in my lifetime that have had some form of this awful disease, and it seems to happen more and more. The scariest thing is, it can happen to anyone, no matter your health or your lifestyle. Coping with the news a loved one has cancer can be an experience I would wish no one to have. When it hits very close to home, it will change your life. In 2004, my husband, boyfriend at the time, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 3B. I experienced this disease right along with him every day through the stays at the hospital, doctor's appointments, chemotherapy treatments, and the physical and mental challenges a disease like this will cause. Life can be so normal and happy, full of having fun with friends and family, living a carefree and low-stress lifestyle, having comfort and routine, especially at the age of 19. But news like this will change everything. His symptoms were minor, but like how most of us will get that gut feeling, it was his intuition that pushed him to go to the doctor and see if his feelings were right. After a biopsy of a swollen lymph node right above his clavicle, the doctor broke the news and diagnosed him with Hodgkin's lymphoma. At that moment, our lives took a turn that nobody could have ever planned or prepared for. Many of you have probably heard of Hodgkin's lymphoma, but may not know too much about it. Hodgkin's lymphoma, formerly known as Hodgkin's disease, is a cancer of the lymphatic system. With this cancer, cells in the lymphatic system will grow abnormally and can spread to almost any organ or tissue in the body, including bone marrow, spleen, and the liver. As this lymphoma progresses, it compromises our body to fight infections. Hodgkin's lymphoma is a very treatable type of cancer. It occurs mainly in young adults, with more cases occurring between the ages of 16 and 34. According to SEER.cancer.gov, based on rates from 2005 to 2007, 1 in 428 men and women were diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma during their lifetime. And death rate was 0.4 per 100,000 men and women per year, based on patients who died in the years 2004 to 2008 in the U.S. The emotions we had about the news were very mixed. Although the news was devastating, after we researched the statistics, it gave us a little bit more comfort in knowing this is a very and highly treatable form. We both knew, though, there was a tough road ahead. Symptoms of Hodgkin's include painless swelling of the lymph nodes, usually in the underarms and in the neck, fever or chills, night sweats, unexplained weight loss, lack of energy or fatigue, and itching. And to this day, Ben has scars all over his lower legs from the intense itching this disease caused. And Ben sure did experience all of these, but those are just the side effects of the cancer itself. The real pains and discomforts came along when the chemotherapy treatment started. Because chemotherapy attacks fast-dividing cells, those cells are usually compromised, like the bone marrow, GI tract, and skin and hair follicles. Throughout the 6 months of chemotherapy treatment, there were many long days and even longer nights. Ben was unable to keep anything down, that is, if he even got a minor appetite. And once the hair started falling out, it was reality that chemo was eating away at his body. Once the treatments of chemo were over, it was still taking a physical toll on him. But I stuck through the worst part of it, the emotional hardships. Giving emotional support to a loved one with cancer is never easy. There's just nothing simple about it. Of course you want to be there for your loved one, but it hurts. I was his rock through this, his comfort, and his ears. Listening is one of the best ways to show you care. When he wanted to rant and rave about how unfair life is, or whatever was on his mind, I had to let it be. We all need to have emotional outbursts from time to time to vent out our feelings. It was such comfort with him knowing I was a shoulder to cry on. Another huge challenge was trying to keep the normalcy in our lives. There were many times that I felt my needs weren't important or guilty that I could enjoy the things that he couldn't at the time. But he survived it, and we all grew stronger from it. It made us not only our inner strength and our appreciation for life stronger, but the event itself strengthened our relationship to coming closer than we ever would have been before. Hopefully, none of you will ever have to experience this kind of emotional, life-changing experience. But we will all go through some form of time and experience in our life that will change it or make us look at life differently itself. As I said earlier, cancer is happening more and more these days, and you just never know who its next victim may be. For someone living with cancer, the support of family and friends is critical through their journey. Yet, a diagnosis of cancer often catches everyone by surprise and shifts the roles we are accustomed to playing. Those of us that have not personally struggled with it, it's hard for us to understand what they're really going through. Throughout this personal experience, it was very important to be knowledgeable, supportive, a great listener, and to make sure that he knew I was always there for him. There are 4 L's to remember when caring for a loved one: learning, listening, loving, and most of all, laughter. We can only take one day at a time and enjoy every minute, because we never know where life's next road will lead us.